What's up, flamethrowers? It's me, Flame the Dragon Hog here. And guys, welcome to another installment of Flames Rants. And today, guys, we are going to be counting down something very, very interesting. My top favorite Scooby-Doo monsters. Yep, as you guys all know, Scooby-Doo has been out for many years. And for the many years of his mystery-solving career, he has encountered some of the most interesting and most weirdest monsters out there. So I thought I would count down some of my favorite monsters. So, guys, if this brings back any memories from your childhood, you're welcome. Anyway, anywho, let us begin with this video. Now, guys, let me know in the comments down below which one of these Scooby-Doo monsters did you guys like growing up, watching while growing up. Just let me know in the comments, guys. Anywho, let's begin. And if there's a Scooby-Doo monster in here that's your favorite that is not in this list, let me know in the comments, and I might make a part 2. Who knows? Anyway, let's begin. So the first one we have here is... Oh boy, this one's a classic one. The Ghost of Elias Kingston. Now this was an interesting episode of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? It's where Scooby and the gang head off to their friend's house. However, their friend's uncle was passing by this mansion. Well, he was acting weird while going into this mansion where he met this ghost, the ghost of Elias Kingston, the previous owner of that mansion, and he cursed him, making him older and older and older. And he swore that he would make everybody in the next door house old if he had his hands on their fortune. Yeah, that was an interesting one. That was an interesting episode of Scooby-Doo. I really enjoyed the Ghost of Elias Kingston, and then it made its way to the newest thing of Scooby-Doo. I believe it was called Be Cool Scooby-Doo, where Velma was trying to get into this college, and they met the Ghost of Elias Kingston again. Now that was a great callback. I'm glad that they brought that guy back. Anywho, let's move swiftly on to the next one. Alright, next one we have is the Ghost Bear. Is the Ghost Bear from Scooby-Doo and the WWE crossover movie. Now that was a good movie where Scooby and the gang crossed over with many different WWE superstars, featuring John Cena, Sin Cara, and lots of others. And Kane, and like I said, lots of others. Anywho, they encountered this bear. They encountered this bear who wanted to destroy WrestleMania and steal the championship belt. Because after all, the diamonds and jewels that's on it. Anywho, Scooby and Shaggy, they got into trouble. They got into trouble because they thought that they were trying to steal the belt. But they weren't. They were being framed. It was really, really bad. So they ended up facing Kane to prove their innocence. And that's when the bear came in and just started wrecking everything. But it was interesting. That Ghost Bear was actually really great. And what was really great was teaming up with many different WWE superstars. That was awesome. And the Flintstones did it too. And I believe the Jetsons did it too. I can't believe it that they actually crossed over with WWE superstars. I liked it. It was great. I really liked it. Anywho, let's keep her going. Alright, next up we have is the Headless Spectre. Now, this one was an interesting one for Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? In that episode, Scooby and the gang, they were on their way to a music festival where the Mystery Machine broke down in front of this creepy mansion. So they searched inside the mansion for some help. However, they encountered a Headless Spectre while he was on his own private search looking for some treasure, and he was just trying to scare Scooby and the gang away because he thought that they were after it. But nope. And guys, just so you know, this was the first time that the bad guy, that the ghost, was actually the good guy. It was actually really interesting. I was really happy that they did that. I was really happy. Because don't get me wrong, most of the time, the bad guy is the ghost. But nope, not this time. Oh, man. But anyway, yeah, the Headless Spectre was a really, really good ghost. He was really awesome. I liked him very, very much. Anyway, let's keep her going. Alright, it's a little bit blurry, but next up we have is the Caveman. Next up is the Caveman. Now, I know this sounds really interesting, but yeah, Scooby actually met a caveman. You see, they were fishing. You see, they had like a little beach like day, and Shaggy hooked this frozen fright. He was frozen in a block of ice. However, he was on his way to Ocean Land, a like sea-themed aquarium and stuff for research. However, Shaggy he hooked it with his fishing line, and right away they took him to they took him to Ocean Land so that way they can put him on ice, and so that way they could do research on him. However, that night when they went back to Ocean Land because Shaggy forgot something, they found the block of ice melted and learned that the caveman was gone. And they encountered the caveman, and they started getting chased by him all over the place. And don't get me wrong, it was really weird. I mean, they could have been a little bit more creative instead of, like, you know, with the caveman thing, but I guess it was okay. I mean, the caveman thing was interesting. I liked it. It was cool, I guess. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Moving on. Alright, next up we have is the Mummy. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Typical Mummy in Scooby-Doo. I know, I get it. But anyway, in that episode of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Scooby and the gang, they were helping their professor friend with some research that night based on this mummy's research. However, this mummy had other plans. When he came back to life, he was on the search for something. A ancient Egyptian coin, which Shaggy had. And he was trying to scare him into giving it to him. But they never gave it to him, so they were on a chase all over the place. It was just bad. While the mummy was also turning innocent people into stone. It was just bad. It was crazy. But I really did like this episode of Scooby-Doo. It was funny. It was really, really funny. I liked it. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Now, these guys are definitely my favorite ones. Here's my other favorite one, the Snow Ghost. While on a ski vacation, Scooby and the gang, they stayed in this interesting and shady inn. In this shady inn, where its guests keep disappearing. Why, you may ask? Well, it's mainly because of him, the Snow Ghost, steady scaring people away. Many people seem to think that the Snow Ghost was like the ghost of a Yeti. And thanks to this mountain Chinese man, or Tibetan man, whichever one, the Scooby and the gang met, he explained how the Snow Ghost came to be. It turns out he actually was the ghost of a Yeti. It was bad. But anyway, yeah, the Snow Ghost was an interesting one. He could fly, phase through walls, disappear into the cold night and snow. It was just crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really liked that episode where the Snow Ghost came in. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Really did outdone themselves. Moving on. Alright, next up we have is the Ghost from Outer Space. While looking around in an abandoned airfield, they encountered this interesting creature from outer space with his interesting laugh. Yeah, Scooby-Doo Are You was really, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, this guy, he steady chased Scooby and the gang all over that airfield, trying to scare them out of there. It was just crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Ghost from Outer Space was really awesome. The Space Ghost was awesome. I liked him. He definitely made it onto my list of favorite Scooby-Doo monsters. It was great. I like him very, very much. He was cool. Anyway, moving on. All right, next up we have is the Witch Doctor. Scooby has encountered two different witch doctors, but this was involved dog napping. You see, there were many reports of dog nappings, so Scooby and the gang cooked up this plan to make Scooby go undercover to figure out where all the dogs were going. And turns out they were all being held captive at a abandoned Indian temple, guarded by this guy, the dog napping witch doctor. He actually tried his best to scare Scooby and the gang, but nope, he didn't do so good. Anyway, yeah, I really did like him. He was an interesting ghost. He was interesting and really powerful, some people thought. But yeah, he was interesting. Moving on. All right, next up we have is the Wax Phantom. You see, while Daphne and Freddy, they were on a TV show, the TV station was being haunted by this Wax Phantom. Just a giant blob of wax. And believe it or not, he was actually involved in many things. It was just really bad. You see, the TV show actually had a wax figure maker named Grisby who was a little bit shady, so he was fired. But he cursed them, saying one of his creations would come back to life and haunt him. And so he created the Wax Phantom to haunt them. And so it was just really crazy. I mean, guys, a Wax Phantom? I mean, really? Just a giant wax monster? It's kind of stupid if you guys think about it. But it was really interesting, not gonna lie. It was kind of funny. It was funny. And they got chased all over our wax museum. At least it was kind of appropriate because, Wax Phantom, wax museum, get it? Anyway, moving on. All right, next up we have is the Green Bicycle Ghost. Now, guys, this ghost is from a pup named Scooby-Doo, and it was their very first monster that they ever encountered. Their very first monster. You see, when Shaggy was younger, he had a little paper route. However, his bike was stolen by this guy. So Shaggy hired his friends to help him find his bike. Which led them to an abandoned house. Where they encountered this green monstrosity and a printing press for some reason. Turns out this guy was involved with counterfeit bills. It was kind of bad. It was really bad. But it was really funny for their very first monster. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. Their very first monster, it wasn't that bad for a pup named Scooby-Doo. And if you guys do remember a pup named Scooby-Doo, most of their monsters were, something, I guess. Most of their monsters were really, something. It was just bad. Really, really bad. Ugh. And ignore that little message, guys. Sorry, ignore that. Oh man, wish I could edit that, but I can't. Anyway, guys, it's just crazy. They're not too bad for their first monster. Anyway, moving on. All right, next up we have is the Miner 49er. Oh my goodness, I love this ghost, guys. I love this ghost. You see, while Scooby and the gang, they were traveling through this Gold City. The place was called Gold City. They stayed in this guest ranch where the caretaker, he actually told them this story about this miner from 1849. And he was still inside that mine looking for the last vein of gold. And he's been in there for years. However, it was really something when Scooby and the gang actually did encounter him. It was something. I mean, if you guys think about it, this was the most basic monster ever. I mean, I wouldn't exactly say he was a monster. I would definitely say he was like a cranky old dude. I mean, guys, if you think about it, we pretty much probably still have somebody from, like, some people from the 1840s around today. Who knows? If so, good luck with your health, guys. It was definitely something. But anyway, this was like the most basic monster I've ever seen. This was like the most basic monster. I mean, no effort whatsoever. All they did was just put a vest on him and all sorts of other stuff. Give him a pickaxe. It was just bad. Like, don't get me wrong. The Miner 49er was a really interesting monster, but not really. But he was really entertaining to watch. I'm not going to lie. Moving on. Okay, next up we have is Charlie, the robot ghost from Funland. Well, I wouldn't exactly say robot ghost. You see, while Scooby and the gang, they were getting ready to go home from their little beach day, they noticed the amusement park on the boardwalk was running. But here's the thing. That park wasn't supposed to open for weeks. So they went over there to check it out, only to find out that the park was being ran by this guy. They all thought it was a crazy man or whatever, but turns out he was a robot. Programmed to operate everything in the park. But he ended up going haywire. It was a really interesting figure, but at the end of the day, he was actually, like I said, he was just a robot who went haywire. So I wouldn't exactly say he was a bad monster. I mean, sure, he did kind of tear everything up in that amusement park and lots of other things, but he was still okay. Don't get me wrong. Charlie, he was a really great robot. Okay, moving swiftly on. Next up we have is the Ape Man. I love this one. I love the Ape Man. Okay, well, Scooby and the gang, they were helping Daphne's uncle with his movie production of this movie called The Ape Man, while being attacked by a real Ape Man. It was kind of bad. But luckily, Shaggy came in clutch with the biggest clue of all. He managed to get a picture of the Ape Man without his mask on. It was awesome. It was the clues to end all clues. It was great. Props to Shaggy. I mean, not gonna lie, Shaggy, he may be clumsy and all sorts of other stuff, but I'm not gonna lie, he sure did came in clutch in that episode. It was great. Anywho, let's keep her going, guys. Next up we have is the Giggling Green Ghosts. Now, Scooby, he was made an heir in somebody's will. So he and the gang and many of the other heirs in that will had to stay in a haunted mansion for a whole night. However, there was a condition that believe it or not, the house was actually haunted. So what they had to do was stay in there all night. And whoever doesn't stay, his share of the fortune will be passed on to the other. And believe it or not, all the other heirs got scared off except for Scooby. And they found the heirs in coffins, and they found out who the culprits were. These green ghosts. They were trying to chase the heirs out of there. So that way they could keep control of the inheritance, which was kind of bad. Believe it or not, the inheritance was actually Confederate money. It was bad. Anyway, let's keep it going. Next up we have is another one of my favorite ghosts. The ghost of Captain Cutler. Oh my goodness, I love this one. Scooby and the gang, they were on a beach trip at night. They were having a good time until Scooby encountered the ghost of Captain Cutler. Only to find out that the ghost was actually a well-known legend all over the place. Even Captain Cutler's wife knew about the ghost because she was the one who brought him back. It was actually pretty bad. And which led them to an undersea mystery. It was really interesting. I really loved it, and I love the ghost of Captain Cutler. He is absolutely one of my favorite Scooby-Doo monsters. He was just great. I loved him so much. Anyway, let's keep it going, guys. Next up we have is the Creeper. Oh my goodness, I love the Creeper. He was awesome. He's like one of the original Scooby-Doo monsters. I mean, I love him so much. The Creeper is a phantom who's known to walk through walls. But when Scooby and the gang, they encountered him when they were having their barn dance in an old abandoned farm, where they encountered the Creeper. It was bad. It was really crazy. And what happened was that they encountered the Creeper, who was after a piece of paper that Fred had after when they helped out this bank guard. And it was definitely interesting, only to find out that the paper was actually really useful. It was crazy. But anyway, yeah, I absolutely liked the Creeper. He actually showed up in many other things. He actually showed up in many other Scooby-Doo adventures. Like, for example, there was that one Scooby-Doo movie where they got sucked into this video game. It was really great. I love that movie. Anyway, moving on. Alright, next up we have is the Ghost of Redbeard. This guy, he actually showed up all over the place in Scooby-Doo. I mean, guys, to be honest, I don't know what the heck is up with Scooby-Doo and encountering pirate ghosts. I mean, it was crazy. Anyway, the Ghost of Redbeard, he was really awesome. He actually, Scooby and the gang, they encountered him while they were trying to figure out the mystery of disappearing ship's cargo. And it turns out it was Redbeard who was doing it with his ghostly pirate ship, trying to steal and sell ship's cargo. It was definitely really crazy. But anyway, yeah, I really do like the Ghost of Redbeard. He was a really, really interesting ghost. And where did he come from again? Well, there was the crossover in the new Scooby-Doo movies, where Scooby and the gang met up with the Harlem Globetrotters, and they got stuck in this swamp, and they encountered the Ghost of Redbeard again. Only this time, instead of having a red beard, he had a white beard. In fact, he was all white. It was crazy. But I'm not gonna lie, it was definitely a really interesting one. I mean, this guy... And again, guys, I honestly don't know what the heck is up with Scooby-Doo and encountering ghost pirates. I don't know what the heck is up with that. Anyway, moving on. Okay, next up we have is the Phantom Virus. Remember that movie that I was talking about where they got sucked into a video game? Yeah, this guy was the main monster. You see, he actually made his way into the real world to wreak havoc. However, when Scooby and the gang were almost on the verge of solving the mystery, they got sucked into a video game where they had to play through all the levels to make it back out, while also encountering this guy who was just wreaking havoc all over both the real world and the video game world. It was just bad. Really, really bad. And the best part is that they actually encountered their video game avatar selves. It was like meeting them from the past. It was crazy. I mean, it was great. It's like the present Scooby-Doo gang got to meet like the classic, because we got to see Fred and his classic orange ascot and lots of other stuff. Daphne with her green ascot and purple dress. Velma, she didn't really change much. And then there was Shaggy with his blue jeans and red shirt. Hey, guys, let me ask you something. Which Shaggy did you guys prefer back in the day? The green shirt Shaggy or the red shirt Shaggy? Let me know in the comments, which Shaggy did you guys prefer? Red shirt or green shirt? Anyway, and Scooby, he had a red collar and was a little bit darker. However, and the Cyber Gang and the normal Scooby-Doo gang actually teamed up, where they encountered not only the Phantom virus, but they also encountered many other monsters from their past. Like, it was just crazy. It was definitely insane. But anyway, yeah, that was a really great movie. It was really funny. I liked it. And guys, it brings us to my last favorite monster. Oh, sorry guys. Sorry guys, that wasn't the last one. My bad. This is the one before the last one. My bad. This is the Ghost of Hyde. This is the Ghost of Hyde. You guys all know the classic story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah, Scooby-Doo was actually in the middle of it. where the Ghost of Hyde, he was actually a phantom who robs banks at night. It was definitely really crazy, and it was definitely insane. Scooby and the gang got in the middle of it, where the Ghost of Hyde was hiding out in the Mystery Machine. It was definitely really, really bad. It was crazy. And, believe it or not, he actually planted a whole bunch of fake clues to make it look like his housekeeper did it. But it was actually him. And I guarantee you, how much you want to bet that the real dude's name was actually Dr. Jekyll. Spoiler alert, it was. And I'm pretty sure there wasn't actually spoiler alert, because I'm pretty sure all of you guys know this episode of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? But anyway, now guys, we move on to my last and all-time favorite Scooby-Doo monster. That would be the Black Knight. This was Scooby-Doo, Where Are You's very first monster they ever encountered. This was their very first one, the Black Knight. It was really, really great. They ran in Scooby and Shaggy. They ran into him while they were on their way home from the movies, where they found him inside the driver's seat of an old abandoned truck. And they brought him, and he contacted the gang, and they brought him to the museum where he was supposed to be, where the curator told them that the Black Knight had a curse on him, where he comes to life every full moon. And while during that mystery, they encountered the Black Knight many times. It was a really, really great mystery, and it was the franchise that started, and it was the monster that started it all. It was great. Well, guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And as I said in the beginning, if I did not show your favorite Scooby-Doo monster here in this playlist, I'll be sure to make a part 2, and I'll include it. Just let me know in the comments which one is your favorite Scooby-Doo monster. Just let me know in the comments, guys, okay? Cool beans. Oh, and also, guys, I don't know if you guys seen this Scooby-Doo crossover movie, but if you guys have seen the Scooby-Doo crossover movie where they met the famous band Kiss, who was the name of that female ghost? I totally forgot. I wanted to add her onto this list, but I forgot her name. If you guys have seen the crossover, let me know in the comments, because, again, I forgot her name. Okay? I totally forgot her name. Anywho, what was I doing? Oh yeah, my outro. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and comment down below. And also, let me know in the comments, which era of Scooby-Doo did you guys like? Which one did you like it? From a pup named Scooby-Doo to Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, to What's New Scooby-Doo, to Scooby-Doo Mr. Incorporated, to Be Cool Scooby-Doo, and Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, and lots of other crazy Scooby-Doo shows that I didn't mention. Or what are some of your favorite Scooby-Doo movies? Like Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invasion, whichever one. Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island. Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers. Like, those are some of my favorite ones. And again, guys, let me know in the comments, which Shaggy did you guys prefer? red shirt Shaggy or green shirt Shaggy. Because a lot of people were really, really confused to how Shaggy was in a red shirt at some points. And as we all know, Shaggy wears green. He doesn't wear red. Anywho, and if you guys are not already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that way you guys will be updated whenever I post. And be sure to keep an eye out sometime soon where a good friend of mine reunites with another good friend. Be sure to keep an eye out for that. Anyway, this is Flame the Dragon Hog signing out for now. Later, flamethrowers.